All right, there we go. All right, it's probably gonna sound a little bit strange today. I updated the video card and I didn't have time to restart everything, so yeah. So then there's that. All right, so let's just dive right into things. Obviously, CPI number today is got the market a little bit of a tizzy, not too crazy though. Um, CPI is expected to come in point 0.5, came in right at point 0.5. The core, though, is what I think is throwing people off. The point 0.4 to point 0.3 obviously has set the dollar off on a weakness kind of trend today. And again, not necessarily surprised. I mean, it's been going up, 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 up. So, if you follow the trend for the last few days, having any bit of negative is obviously the retracement back down again. So, overall, the dollar cat is the biggest mover. It was down more. It was down like, what, 88 or something like that about a half hour ago. Now we're down 67. Um, for the most part, I mean, really, besides the dollar moving, nothing is really showing strength one way or the other. I mean, look at this. Euro pound is slightly eight. And again, that's retracing from what we've seen. We saw weakness yesterday and then followed by strength today. Pound yen is four pips in 24 hours. So, yeah, kind of nothing crazy there. 10:30 today, we have oil inventory. We'll cover the API when we get closer to it. And then Bostic is speaking again. He's probably going to mention CPI. Breaking down the CPI numbers this morning, pretty interesting. Um, like gasoline, look at this one. Gasoline, all types, 41 point. I don't know if you guys can see if that makes it better or worse there. 41.8%, right? Fuel oil, 39.1%. So you can see that a lot of it is smacked over in energy. Energy up overall, 23.8. Electricity is up point 0.4. Energy services, 7.2. Utility, pipe, gas services, even, natural gas and stuff, 19% higher. Um, yeah. There's only one finger you can point at why these are as high as they are. And again, they're continuing to rise. That's the crazy part about this. Kind of one of those things, you know. The base that gets you elected is the one that's going to suffer the most from this. And we mentioned that before. So yeah, this will probably come up at election time about how this is the kind of push. Um, But it is funny. Everything is like, no, 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 it had to be done because of climate change. And yeah, climate change, we're seeing it. But if you guys remember back, I was reading something earlier. I don't know if it was yesterday or this weekend. California, right? Any California people out there? Obviously, wildfires are a real thing. Um, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. There was actually mention of how in disarray the Forestry Service was in California, right? They were underfunded. They were behind on their kind of burns. Um, all the wildfires now are being blamed on climate change because it all happened in 6 months supposedly. But 2 or 3 years ago, they said that expect there to be major issues with forestry problems because um, basically the standardized maintenance, right? I'm not a firefighter, but the standardized maintenance had been so neglected over the years because of budget overruns and things like that. 2 or 3 years ago they said this, but now magically it's the reason for you know having to focus so much on climate change. So it's kind of interesting where all the truth is really at in all these things. Other things that kind of stand out here too. Look at this: used cars and trucks, 41.7%. Like it's like ouch. Like, I was happy, like, my wife's car just recently got totaled, and it was nice getting more than what we paid for it, but at the same time, now it's like, "Wow, we gotta spend how much more?" I mean, like, I'm happy that July was low, but, man, in the 12 months, it's like, God, it's so much more expensive. Clothes, again, clothes higher. Medical commodities is the only one that's down, which again, it's up recently, but it's over the last 12 months. I guess transportation being down a little bit is helpful, right? But it's still up 6.4% in the last year. Medical services up again. So yeah, food. Look at this. It's like, man, it's crazy. If you look at this, it talks about how the indexes for shelter, food, and energy. And like I said before, I believe that two of the main things that you need are food or I'm sorry, shelter and food are considered the what is it like the main three things you need to live. I think it's like food, shelter, and water or something like that, or like clothing or fire or something like that. All bad, right? Energy, new vehicles, bad. They all increased again in July and contributed to the monthly seasonally adjusted. So, you know, I said it earlier, but Bostic or whoever it was the other day was like, yeah, we're at that 2% now. Like, I don't, where are you seeing the 2%? I just don't, In none of these numbers can I find the 2%, right? All items 5.4. Where do you see the 2%? I mean, I guess I could cherry pick and say, oh look, no, food at home, it's 2. Like, where are you getting the 2%? Um, I just don't see it. Every bit of data that we've seen, and again, this is the actual government report, the CPI report, is showing us much higher. So yeah, don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, okay. Um, like I said, as far as the news goes, it's all focused around CPI. A couple other things in here that I thought were a little interesting. China, right? This is a very interesting kind of news release as well. Talking about the Delta variant in China, right? It says there's been new waves of infections across China since last month's outbreak in Nanjing. Now, they are now at a 7-month high. And again, they're responding with lockdowns, travel restrictions, and limitations on entertainment and large gatherings. A number of conferences and other major events have been canceled, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, so it's there. And then again, oh, look, it looks like Sydney's triggering another lockdown, but they keep doing it as well. Mm, the latest stay-at-home orders enforced after 1 week and after 2K. Yeah, so this just shows you how countries are different. In the latest stay-at-home order enforced for at least 1 week after 2 cases of infectious variant were detected. 2 cases. And Florida's like, 2? What do you mean 2? 200? Yeah, 2. So, everybody deals with it differently. So we'll see. We'll see if the trend continues for today. Finally getting a little bit of movement over here. All right. So let's dive into the offset. You're like, whoa, what happened? We missed it. Um, you know, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can pull that one off now. Pull that back up top. We'll bring this across. Yeah, so, here's our CPI report. We knew that that was coming. Really, a lot of this took off this morning at about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I've mentioned this in the past. A lot of times if you want to draw zones at session opens, those tend not to be bad. Had you done that here, here's your 3 o'clock or your 3 o'clock candle right there, right? Could you have really gotten into that one? Maybe. I mean, it was a failure to go lower, right? So it was, something for the aggressive traders. You could have had, got into that one. I think taking this news release, and this was a decent bounce higher. That one single candle was about 44 pips. Could you have predicted that? Yeah, I think so. Just because, again, the expectations were that CPI was going to be lower than it was last month. The fact that it came in slightly red kind of accelerated this forward. Um, but again, there wasn't necessarily the pullback on that one. It had already started to move earlier. And I think that was the overall general consensus in the market that this was going to rise. So, where we are now, 74.01 is probably a decent area. Sellers have stepped in if we can push that high. At this point, we're kind of exhausting the move to the top side. So, we may get, the rollover faster than what we thought. 73.16, I would say, is still decent. It got front run in the overnight. It didn't get all the way back down there again. But if you're looking for highs and lows, look for those two. I'd like it to go a bit higher before we take this short. But at this point, I do think that we are probably hitting kind of the, how do I say this? I guess, I say this for lack of a better word because, people are like, oh, there's an indicator for that. I would say we're probably approaching kind of the overbought area, right? It's kind of at the exhaustion phase. And again, if you really want to use it, you could use something like an RSI or something to determine the strength of the trend to see if we've run out of steam. But with it being 9:30, the U.S. trader, the retail trader is in. They've been affected by this one now. Um, they've bought after the large run up in price. I guess Bostic could say, what is he saying? The Federal Reserve's role in making this an economy that works for everyone. Yeah, I don't know that he's going to tell us much today. Oh, look, he's at there. Yeah. Hmm. Don't know that he's going to say much. I mean, I'm trying to think what he would say that and again, this is just an assumption. Um, yeah, I don't know because it's a hard situation, right? Because the powers that the Fed has, it's like, yeah, we can make this for everybody. Remember, they can raise interest rates, but that raising interest rates curbs inflation. Inflation does hurt. When he says everyone, he means the lower economic income classes. Because again, rich people don't have a problem working in this economy. So he's talking about the lower, the lower socioeconomic classes. Inflation definitely hurts that population without a doubt, but so does rising interest rates because if they try to borrow money, it's more expensive than what it was. And it's harder for them to buy a home. So it's kind of like a rock and a hard place. So yeah, kind of hard, but if we can get to the 74.01, I'd say it's probably a decent rollover. 73.16 top side is probably not bad either. Also yen. Okay. Also yen obviously took the same move again. This is more yen based. You can see this one shot straight up. We had an area here that we had pushed through before. Again, this is an area of interest. If we got a decent base in it, it was not meant to hold up from a news release. That's not what it was for. And in fact, actually, if you wanted to kind of push it, if you were looking for something, you could have pushed this kind of really up into that range higher. And you can see that's where it kind of had some sticking, right? It hit it, pulled back, hit it, kind of moved. So I would say right now, I mean, if anything, maybe use it for a base and take off. But I would say, really at this point, 81.90 is kind of what I'm looking for. Looking across, you can see that yeah, there's a little bit in here, but I mean, again, that's really. I'll take this one off now. I'll take this off now. I'll pull these. Um, pull that. Oops, let me make that solid. Yeah, I mean it's an okay level, and look, you can see it held it there. Um, I guess let's mark it. Probably there. As you can see, reversed. We'll see what we're able to do when we come to that level. And I'll say watch this level. I mean, it's a little bit early, but maybe a 1030 reversal from there. Um, that 1030 kind of coincides with this as well. Let's see, 21 pips. It's about 10. 21 puts us a bit higher. So yeah, it's close. They're both at an approximate reversal level. It's 38. Yeah, I would say probably this level. Yeah. Okay. You're a pound. You're a pound just chopping, right? It's all over this dotted line, right? Bottom, 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 top, bottom, top. So I would say wait for this one to come down. I still think this is. Oops. I still think it's a decent trade. The 84.44 when we get down there. There's some selling here. This was from yesterday. You can see that there was your piece. And if you wanted to make this one short, and again, that was kind of a European session open. The 3 o'clock candles here, so it pushed up. So this is really up until about 8 o'clock. You would have been able to take this one short. I think it's probably done at this point. Let's see. 1 to 3 is right there. So yeah, it's out. You're done on that one. So it was the same. It was a level from yesterday, that 84, 85 level. And then again, we marked it off with this 4 o'clock, this big spike to the downside. And again, there was the entries yesterday from that 1030 window. And there would have been your full completion had you can see, had you taken it from here, you got out. If you waited for the second hit, it got out. I'd be very cautious because now we have 3 hits of that level again going to the top side. So 84, 85, I would probably not take for another short. Um, but as it is right now, we're pushing the new low. So again, this could be our opportunity to finally get down to the 84.44 level. Okay. Again, we'll just move this over to here. Just make it easy. Okay. Had not gotten an entry for it yet, but two nice shorts, right? There would have been your other entry. So you can see two nice from that same level. All right. Euro yen. So euro yen. Wouldn't say this one's really moving. We had a bit of an area where we are looking for a Harry Potter, but never got an entry here. Hit it again, never got the entry. And again, that's where it got a little bit sketchy. If you did get into here, again, you got to about a 2 to 1 on the way down. You can see that again, it's definitely the 2 to 1. Um, it's been pretty choppy. It's been a choppy and sloppy one here. And again, this is really not nothing great in here. I mean, here's your European Open is right here. I mean, where is the trend in this one right now? Right? We went up, we went right back down, and we're in the same exact spot from the Open. I think again, we need about 32 pips worth of movement to the top side. That's the last time we saw a really strong push down. The 130.05. And buying. mm, this is junk. See a touch there too. I don't even know if I take that again. Probably not. Some of you may say, well, wait a second, that's the wicks that you like. Yeah, it is. I do like those wicks, but it only has 8 pips worth of movement to the top side. So kind of one of those things. Is there enough room to run before we know that there's a level that is, definitely draws some attention? Answer's not really. Good old coffee. So yeah, I would say there's not much in euro yen. If we can get up to 130.05, I think we're good. Otherwise, we got to wait for it to drop a bit. So not much there. Um, Euro dollar, got a nice little spike. We talked about 117.11 today. I just taken this. This was a 7 strike price runner in Nadex for news today. But again, you should have been looking to go long this one. There was really no debate about taking this one short. There was a decent setup too from the European Open. There's your zone. Here's your risk. You can see you went through the top. At this point, again, there are sellers. I mean, not surprised that it turned. There's where your sellers were sitting right on top. So again, this was one of those profit targets you needed to make sure that you were good on. And it did. It approached the area. It hit exactly where it should have. It rolled exactly where it should have. But at this point, I think you're probably more reversing it, taking it a bit lower. Retail traders saw that, was like, oh, it's spiking, it's going high, let's go long. And then it is obviously rolling back to the negative. 117.11. Oh, sorry, guys. Ugh. I didn't get back home last night till about 12:30. I would. You guys know that I also this summer I've been working with a buddy of mine coaching high school lacrosse teams. And yesterday there's a 24-hour charity game called Shootout for Soldiers, where basically there's 24 games in a row, but they keep the score and it's cumulative and just goes and they keep adding to it. And at the same time, we had the playoffs for the high school team, and we ended up having to go to. There was a We had thunder and lightning, so we had like a 3-hour rain delay, right? So we were supposed to play at 6, and then the championship was 8, and I was like, all right, that's cool, right? We kept getting thunder and lightning, and they have like this advanced system, so there's like a light that goes off, and then eventually it gives us the all clear, right? It's like 8:30, almost 9 o'clock. So we started around 9 in the first game. We won in double overtime, right? So we finished. That was around 10 o'clock. We had to go right down to the championship game, but because it was so late, we had a couple players from Virginia. We lost 3 kids, like important kids, right? So we walk right down to the other field. The other team has 24 kids, right? So they have 14 subs on the sideline. We had 3. And one of those kids we basically grabbed in the parking lot. We had a couple like incoming freshmen and most of theirs were juniors and seniors. We ended up losing by 1 in overtime. We tied it up with 26 seconds left. And yeah, this poor kids defense didn't come out the whole game, but we didn't finish till 11:30, 11:45, and then a bunch of my teammates were trying to talk me into playing in the well, it's funny. They were trying to talk me into playing the 3 to 4 a.m. First responders game. And I was like, guys, I can't play lacrosse from 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. It's just not going to work. But yeah, it's a 24-hour game for charity for soldiers. And they raised like, I think Baltimore this year raised like $130,000 for the organization. But yeah, so I'm exhausted today. So I apologize if I yawn again. The coffee is not working great. But anyway, I would look for a reversal in euro dollar. We'll see if this one continues to push back lower. And then again, it may give us some more buying opportunity, but you can see it wasn't really like an explosive move off of that. So just keep that kind of tempered. Pound yen. I would love to say that this has been great, but here's where we are right now. And yeah, this time yesterday, we were sitting at the exact same spot. This 9:30, 10 o'clock window. Yeah, we're in the exact same spot. This one has moved 9 pips in 24 hours. Right. Oh, there we go. 10 pips in 24 hours. Really not a whole lot of trend there. You can see the level we talked about, a potential short. Again, we hit it, we drop lower, hit that level again and drop lower. But it's really at this point, it's become more of an area of interest, right? And again, based off of it, popped it, came through, used it again, came back up, and then now it's having issues with it. So not a short trade. If you took it, you probably would have got stopped out of break even. And again, that happens. It's just, it's trading. You're not going to be right 100% of the time. Don't believe you're going to be. I would say 153.45 is the next level. As you can see, this is a level that's been tested twice, right? It was originally formed back here on July 6th, and again, touched it and got hammered down very, very fast. Touched it again, hammered down again, and then again, got front run, got a nice push. So looking for that level again. It's not completely fresh, but every time it's touched this previously, it's barely entered the zone at all before sellers have stepped in. So it's definitely something you want to watch. If you're looking at this one, you may even want to look for a kind of a Harry Potter touch of it, um, just to again, get more of a confirmation for this one as a roll. But it is high in the curve. We know we can see the pink over here. It is high on the curve. It is a area that's been respected, 2, 3 times and barely breached at all. So I would look for that for our next good short. As far as longs go, there's a couple of them. We had this one down here that it touched. We can take it off just to clean this up so we don't confuse people. We'll leave that in there right now. There could be an argument that says that, hey, listen, we have some sellers in here, and that actually wouldn't be bad. Um, I would say that that's probably, ooh, I don't know which one it is. No, go long. I would say that this would not be a horrible buying area. Jin's yelling at Melissa. You're being bad. I'm telling Daddy. uh, but anyway, that comes in at 152.71. Right, 152.71, and it's decent. I mean, like I said, I like how the wicks are here. I like how it's 3 wicks in a row, all ascending. We came back, we touched that area, and then boom, that was a takeoff again. So, yeah, it's decent. I would say it's a B plus. But the way that this is trending right now, it's kind of like ideally the scenario that would probably happen is if this one pulls back down in the overnight, take that trade for a European session open. Okay, um, that would be the ideal setup for it, but it's going to have to grind back and push down. It needs to move about 40 pips, 42 pips. So, I mean, it's definitely doable, but we need some help. Actually, let me see. Do I have any pound news? This week is so low on news. No. That is an odd time. Do you guys see that? Pound release at 7:01 p.m. Fortunately, that is not a mover. Yeah, so it looks like tomorrow morning, preliminary GDP quarter over quarter, it is expected to be much better. They have it up at a 4.8 versus the negative 1.6. So yeah, that would be set up for this kind of move. And you may say, well, wait, that's really good. Yeah, it is really good. 4.8 would be great, but if it comes in at 4, that is not as good as expected. That would provide some weakness. So again, that could be setting up for up top here, right? Let's see. Let's draw a line on this one when the pound news is coming out. Horizontal line right there. Okay, so there would be our news. Okay. So either of those two for a session open would be a decent, whether buy or sell. Ideally, I mean, again, if it comes in better than expected, I think either one of those two would be good levels for that. So yeah, that'd be a 2 o'clock open. All right, cool. Pound dollar. Again, not surprised. There's a level. We talked about that level. It bounced. It came right back up to the area of interest. Again, touched, went to the same level. Basically the same NetX based trade. I believe that this one, I think this one made it actually all the way. And right there. Yep. So that one came out too. So that trade is done. I would expect, again, just like Euro, I would expect a bit of a retracement. It hit a level where we had sellers in the past. It did break slightly higher and then based, but now we've put that lower high in. So, you can even take this on the lower time frame and see if it's in. Yeah, I mean, you could have drawn it this way, right? It pulled down, and then again, there's your failure. There would be your level. Actually, let's pull this. I'll just do it with this. Short, there, there, and drop it down to right there. So, and again, your entry would have been there, not that one. You would not have gotten an error on this piece. It really needs to be like this, but like I hate that I have to like kind of adjust it, like something like along those lines. And you're at a 1-to-1, so I mean, at this point, you should be kind of thinking, hey, I need to make sure that I have a zero risk in this trade. But it's not a bad level. Like I said, it's set up for parabolic retracement. The 1 to 3 has plenty of room there to run back to the downside. So again, that should be a counter trend from news this morning. Dollar CAD, look at this. Dollar CAD pushing down, but now we're starting to retrace. Now dollar CAD had kind of two levels. We had this area of interest, and again, that's why we kept this 125 yellow. And you can see that's kind of what it had its issue with, but it wasn't clean. There was a level of basing below. I mean, we could have drawn the level here. We could have drawn the level here. Either way, it pierced just through the bottom side of it. So again, we can take it off. That was because it's black, that was our target to the downside. Unfortunately, this one missed and kind of took off without us, and there's not really a whole lot we can do about it. Really, this one's going to be hard because we're rallying, right? We'll see if the oil data actually helps move this one around a bit. But right now, we really needed to come lower, which would be more of a CAD strength based move. But unfortunately, right now, we've had the dollar weakness and now we're seeing the retracement. So I just don't think we're going to be able to get this one to come down to the level we need it to. Top side, you know, this one is difficult. You could say that yes, there's a level there. I'd watch out for that level. It hit it and it had a great response off of it. But it's kind of like there's nothing here to see, but you can see that again, buyers in, buyers in, buyers in, buyers in. These are higher, and then we finally got a lower one, but it did push it 60, 70% of the way through. So it's like, 60% of the way through, it's like, is it still valid? I mean, it was a great response to it, right? I mean, every time it fought up there, it came through and, it did push down and kind of make another attempt up before dropping. So, yeah, I mean, if you're aggressive and you time it with a session open, I think that's decent. But right now, we got to, it's got a ways to go. We got to chunk through this. And again, there's probably some sellers sitting up here at 125.45. Kind of looking for, again, kind of a pullback in either of these two directions, I think are the best opportunity. And like I said, we hit the area of interest. We expected it. It wasn't a trade entry for us. We wanted to go a little bit lower. Unfortunately, it didn't get there before it rolled back up. Okay. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss was just grinding, but we missed the level. Look at that. Missed it by 1.5. So less than 2 pips. We missed that one by to the downside. And again, great trade. Um, this is another one of those ones in the European session, right? European session open was right here. I'll drop it to a 15 and give you a little bit better review. You can see right here is the 3 o'clock candle, right? If you take the 3 o'clock level, you can look at this and say, oh, wait a second, there's 3 o'clock. There's the push down again. Ooh, 6 o'clock window. And again, touch it again at 7 o'clock. Already kind of pushing to the downside, right? So this was another one of those ones that was kind of a news-based entry to the downside. Right now, again, I'll bring it back up to a 30-minute. There's not tons more we can do with it. It went to where it was supposed to, right? If you look for a base right here, you can say, okay, there. And actually, that's where the last buyer stepped in, and that's exactly where they stopped in this time. So that would have been your downside target had you been short from up here. Right now, I'd say, I mean, see how much room is there. Only 22 to the downside. Mm, yeah, I'd say 192.43. We'll keep this down here. We got a ways to go for this too. Yeah, it's probably the best thing we got. I mean, maybe. Let's see, how much is this? About 10. I would need 30. There's probably a short there. If we can get some type of a short position, probably more in there. You can see there is a 3-to-1 there. But again, we're going to need the pullback. You would need the pullback in that zone. We need the in base drop and a pullback, and then take that one short. 91, 94. Okay, it's fine. It's the only red one on the. Oh, I'm sorry, dollar yen. I was like, it's the only red one on the list. All right, dollar yen. Dollar yen. So you can see we were talking about a short. It did pull back, and again, this was right around yesterday. We were kind of floating through this level, and again, this is one of those ones that when it's going like this, it's not going to typically hold. And again, could you have gotten out of this trade? Yeah, I went down here. It was over 1-to-1, and then pulled back up again. That's the we need to get out. And then what did it do? It came up and it missed entry for Harry Potter. So it's a level. We're gonna delete it off though at this point, and we're really gonna be looking for a next kind of a break of this level. I still do like targets down here to 109.82, but we need to get a bit more weakness in there. And again, if we crash through, I think we stand a decent chance of having that be the push that comes down. There's some buyers obviously here. You guys can see that the basing and then the pop off of it right around 110.10. Um, but I think if once this one kind of flips and we get a true trend in this one, and again we're getting pretty close to it, a break of 110.32, I think we start to really kind of start looking down for that 109.82 as a target. I think we can get down there. Is it today thing? Probably not. And remember, news wise, right? Let's go back, remove this. You can see that tomorrow with this PPI number gives us another ability to have dollar weakness come in, right? Now, this will be the true thing too, because if you guys don't know what PPI is, don't forget you can always click on these things. It's a change in the price of finished goods and services sold by producers, right? So we get to figure out how much inflation they're jacking into this. If we remember, core was a miss. If core comes in at point 0.4 over here, and again, core is one of those ones that misses quite often, right? If we have a miss here to the downside, similar to what we saw today, again, that would be the dollar weakness we need, and it rallies right over into here into if we come in here and base, brings us right back down again. Okay. This total move from where we are right now is only about 67 pips. It absolutely can move that in a day, particularly if we get PPI data. You can see just the news candle today, not even the whole move, but just the news candle was about 30. So it absolutely, without a doubt, can drop all the way down there for the news. Um, and again, I guess vice versa, it could go all the way back up again. But I would say right now, being in the middle of range, I'd wait for one of these two levels to get entry. Okay. Oil. Oil's just kind of stuck. Oil's kind of stuck. Let's see. There's our 830 candle. Right now, we're kind of compressed into this zone. Right. And I don't know if you guys saw in the next presentation, had you taken this entry, and again, this is a simple 30-minute entry. You guys know how to do that. It's a session open, right? 3 a.m. European session open from a 30-minute level of supply. Had you drawn the extension tool, right? I had it up there from yesterday with the fib discussion, but if you'd taken the high down and then played it up again, right into that zone again, depending on where your entry is. Typically, you mark, kind of the top of the zone for me. How's that for projecting where the target's going to go to? It went right past. It went right here. It went to right. I was looking for one that's small. Oops. Basically dropped it there. It went right there, right below that line. So how's that for targeting, right? I'm sure there's somebody out there that's a fib guy that's like, look at that. Oh my God, it worked. It's the extension. It's so good, right? But yeah, I had it up from yesterday and I was like, oh, look at that. Good old Fibonacci extension, right? High to low, pull back here, and then boom. right to the mark, and then rolled. So yeah, there's somebody out there that's making some YouTube videos on that one. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. But yeah, so we'll see. That's where we push down to and retrace back up again. I still think 6850 is probably on the radar today. I mean, it's 10:07 right now. Let's see. Are we getting any type of stabilization? Not yet. Hasn't stabilized yet. So we'll come back to this one. See if we can get the stabilization in a couple minutes. Gold. Yeah, gold's not doing much. Gold really spent yesterday just kind of bouncing back and forth. It's at that same level. We know we had some sellers here. I mean, it had a little bit of a pop with the inflation number, but not really anything crazy. There's just not enough, unfortunately, today. No. Yeah, Briggs, exactly. Briggs, exactly. Yep. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I mean, really, I'm not really interested in a short for this one until we get back up to this level. And again, that's kind of the aggressive entry on that one. It wasn't old. The orange is an area of interest level that we had from before, and that's kind of what it used as a base. I guess actually we could be a little bit more conservative with this one and not go super crazy. Kind of put us in that level, right? And that gives us a short at 117.61. So yeah, it's got to go through. I mean, you can see there's sellers over here again with the way that these highs formed. They're getting lower. I like how the wicks are reaching up, and then we had a nice little push down. But really, I mean, today's number really didn't help it too much. I mean, tomorrow's PPI maybe we'll finally get a boom, but it's kind of we would need a miss on the upper side for gold to really help. Remember, a miss to the downside shows that obviously there's inflation, but it's not running away, and it doesn't necessarily need to be controlled as much. Um, yeah, I don't know. If we miss to the top side tomorrow, then yeah, expect gold to pop. I mean, if we can get to 1761 before that time, I think that's cool. I'm cool with that. But nothing, not earth shattering. Silver. Yeah. You guys see that? I switched chart. I'm gonna make it look really exciting. Unfortunately, I can't. That's what silver's doing right now. So silver has been a no trader for 2 days now. We have levels at 24.22 and 22.09. It's just watching paint dry right now. So again, I'd stay away from silver. Not a whole lot you're going to be able to do with this one. Okay. Let's go up and look at the indices. Take this, drop it down to the 15 minutes, and there we go. Now you may say, wait a second, why did this pop? Right? Why did this pop? Very easy. If those core numbers are not as bad as what they thought it was, that means there's less reason to raise interest rates and cripple the stock market. So again, it makes complete sense why it popped. We're looking for targets up top. Again, we're looking for 44.50. It is having some problems now, even on the 15 minute. You can kind of see that. We don't necessarily have a good place to kind of get short this, but kind of hard. And like I said, I would be a bit cautious. Not that, not that Bostic is, not that he is one of the like I don't know prime market movers as far as FOMC goes. But at the same time, he does have insider information. He is, I believe he is, I think he is a voting member. Um, it doesn't say, but yeah. Oh, wait. Yes. FOMC voting member 2018 and 2021. So he is a voting member. So it kind of gives you an idea of how one of the votes would kind of come into this whole thing, right? As far as rates, cuts, and all that stuff. So, he could definitely give us a pop. But for what we've seen today, as long as we're able to break through up here, I think 44.50, I think is on the radar. I think that can almost become a new equilibrium point for us, better than what we were at before. So, I would say I feel like we're long today more than anything else, just because again the news was not as bad as expected, and that will roll over into tomorrow as well if we can continue to push. And again, this one is kind of middle of the road. It's not quite as good as the YM, but it's kind of secondary. So we'll see if we can punch forward and continue to move. And Q. So you may say, wait a second, this one went up, but this one went down. Yeah, NQ is a little bit more sensitive to it. Right now, between the two big levels of 15.5, I'm sorry, 15.150 and 15,000, we're smack in the middle at that 75 mark. A little bit harder, and again, this one NQ is a little bit more sensitive. Right now, there's no trade in this one, and really at the open, would you have traded anything? Not really. There's no real levels over to here to grab. There's a wick over wick, but I don't know that it's big enough that you guys would have wanted to trade it. I would have said that the trade, if you were looking for shorts, would have been more of this piece up top. We didn't make it there. And again, there was this piece over here that you could have said, "Hey, well, listen, we're down here, but at 5:30 in the morning, you're probably not taking that level. The Harry Potter was not initiated, and we really didn't have much else. So NQ is between a rock and a hard place. So we kind of need to move to kind of get back into an actual trend before we can do much with it. YM is the big mover, and again, you can see the YM is not pulling back. And again, this is because when we're talking about the cost of goods and services, again, this is a good sign for them. And again, you can see that there's the 35,200. We're at 35,355 now. So again, this one gets pushed up, and the next target for us up top becomes 35,500, which is a good number. There would be our next target up top. Okay, now again, you're like, wait, there's nothing up here. Yes, that is true, right? There is nothing there because again, this is why. You see anything over here? There's nothing there. So there's going to be nothing above this one. And again, you'll just be looking for potential areas up top. I would say in this one of the things that, and again, I don't have it drawn on here, but I do know that this is right around the 50%. At least on the 15-minute, today's push there will be people that kind of look at this one and say, all right, let's do, is there a retracement in here? And like I said, my fib tool is kind of off right now because of yesterday's presentation, but if you were doing kind of the high to low piece right here, again, there's your 50% mark in the middle, right? You can see that price did kind of have a bit of a hiccup there. And let's see on a 5-minute if you can, yeah, you can kind of see right there around the 50, there may be a potential area to go long right there, right? So, and again, just because it's on the 50, there'll be people that look for it today. Again, it's not 10:30 yet. We got a couple candles to go. You could potentially pull back. And like I said, the problem with this one is you're relying on 5-minute windows or 5-minute candles, which are very small and easily broken. And you have an FOMC who's a voting member speaking about equality for all and what they're going to do. So again, you would think equality for all would lead us into a long situation, but there is something in there, in smaller time frames. If you guys are, going to play around with fibs, and I don't think actually. Let me see. I'll throw the risk to reward tool on there. Long position. I'll throw it there. I'm curious. Let's see. Where is the 1 to 3? 1 to 3 is right there. So it's not even. It wouldn't even be breaking the highs for the day. So, we'll see. I mean, hopefully he doesn't sandbag the entire market, but I think YM probably has the biggest chance of continuing to push higher today. And again, 35,500, maybe based off of what he says, but end of the day rally, talking about how inflation was not as bad as what they thought, it's starting to come down again. That could be good again for the overall economy. Now, Russell took it on the chops in the other direction. This one at its 8:30 pop. Oh, let me bring it back down to 15. This one at its 8:30 pop, and where it hit, I mean, I mean, you can see here. I'll take this one off. That's good. I don't know if you guys can see it here. I'm gonna have to draw it for you guys. Do it this way. Horizontal ray, there to there. Right. Level of basing, very, very strong push off. You can see that we got front run here, got front run here, and that is what we hit. Now again, this was kind of like a 9 o'clock, 9:15ish. By 9:30, we were starting to pull back to the downside. It absolutely was. It absolutely broke through. Right. Your 1 to 3 would have been right there. There's your 1 to 3, and you were out basically on the opening candle. So, you know, it was a heck of a move. I think total it was up to a 1 to 9.5. So it was a mover today. But right now you're seeing that we have some kind of stabilization here, and it's kind of not sure what it's going to do. Right, pulled in, kind of came back, and it's like, right, and holding, but now we have lower highs. So Russell is the weakest of all of them today. So understand if we really start tempering out, and again, right now ES is green, NQ is green, YM is green, Russell is red. If we really start to see more weakness across the board, again, Russell would be the one we want to take short to the downside. There is some buyers that will stabilize it lower, right? But there's you talk about your spike. There's where your turn happened, and that's a level we had marked off. Old area of interest again, peak. We expected it to break, front run, and finally touched. So that level is again, if you're still short, 222, 2222, right, is where your target should be to the downside. It's about 7 point drop, right? About a 7 point drop, and we'll see. We'll see what Bostic has to say there. But yeah, with the lower, this is what I'd be looking for. See how they're coming in there. So we'll see if we're able to break that. Okay. All right, let's jump back. Is anything else really standing out? Natural gas is taking a hit. There's natural gas for the day. Ethereum's not really big for the day. TLT is down a bit. Dogecoin's up 6%. Wow, 27. James must be so happy. GMC down. AMC back into the 30s. Let me see what else we got. Tesla holding high. Look at that from that move. Interesting thing about Tesla, looking at this chart. See here. Got a bit of a gap sitting right there. And then it looks like we got another little gap. Really kind of sitting right there. Yeah, it's where right now. That one's been chewed through, so it's the top gap that it's playing with. Let's see. Mark this off down here. Oop, I want to change that. Oop, not that one. Not sea green. Not a bad range. Not a bad range. All right, let's go to oil. Let's see if oil's giving us anything to work with right now. Oops, 5 minutes. Not stabilizing. So remember, so what I mean by, for those of you that are new, since 10 o'clock, we don't have the stabilization yet. Stabilization is basically where price holds. Like this would be stabilization down here at 9:30, but you need it within a closer proximity to the window. It is pushing up, but if you look to the left, yeah, there's a little bit of an area right here, right? A little bit of an area right here, which is okay, But if it pushes any more, there's nothing over here. It's a racetrack to the top side. So it's not, we got 11 minutes for it to work, but it's not, this one is not setting up ideal today. Although it is setting up, if I had to say, if I had to make a call right now, I would say that it is kind of more setting up for a short, right? It has driven itself up, but we don't have the stabilization from that level. Yeah, the stabilization is not there yet. All right, well, I got that. Let me check the Nadex contracts. Let's see how much premium is jacked into these today. Hey Triton, how you doing today? Let's see, commodities, crude oil. Where are we at right now? We are at indicative 67.80. I hate these daily spreads or the daily 40 cents is insane. Even 20 cents on a 2 hours, kind of crazy. 67.19, 67.39. See, 67.39 requires about 46 cents to the downside. That's not hard. I guess that's not horrible for the morning, right? It is a 2 hour, so you need kind of a fast drop in it. You got about an hour and a half to go on it, so I'd be, I think that's. Let me see the 9 to 11. Let's see how much do we have jacked into this one. We do have a strike there. Yeah, it's the same thing. 67.39, $25 worth of risk to the downside. Eh, eh. I don't know. I don't know that I like that one. It's kind of like, I don't know. Let me see what else we got. Do we have anything close in knockouts? Let's see. Crude oil. It's at the 75 mark. Unfortunately, it would have just busted out the 67.75. Yeah, unfortunately, knockouts are wasted because by this rallying up, 67.75 would have been the next one down on the chart. So the closest ceiling is 68.75. It's $1 above. It's just not something you would want to take. We can't go either direction. Let's see call spread wise. What have we got? 8 minutes to go here. 67.50. Way too much in that one. 67. Oh, whoops, right. Not that one. 49. That's insane. All right, the call spreads have a lot of premium jacked into them. Well, I guess it's 30 cents in, so I guess it's not that bad. It figures they have a ceiling of 67.50. 66.75. We needed that to be a floor. It's $1 off. Yeah, we don't have much on that one. Nothing there. 66.75. No, there's nothing that lines up for the call spreads either. Yeah, it would have to be a binary only today. So we're starting to get that hold in there now. That's kind of this is kind of that stabilization. I mean, I like it when there's a little bit less, right? But it's kind of set. This looks like this is what it looks like it's setting up to do for news, right? Actually, it's a little bit off, but that's okay. It's right there. So again, yeah, bouncing off that level. We'll see. It's starting to drop. So we've had it's not the ideal stabilization. Again, it's kind of this is more what I'm looking for. This kind of holding, not kind of just a back and forth in that same level of chop. But I would say right now it does look like it wants to be more of kind of a downward side target. So we'll see what it's able to do. Let's see. Is there anything else? We got a couple minutes to go. We kind of finished early today. Let's see. Okay. Um, there's really not much else out there. I was trying to see if there's anything natural gas wise. Again, remember natural gas. We got to prepare for inventories tomorrow. Um, let's pull this real quick. 4 hours. We're still dealing with that top area. Mm, let's put this on there for tomorrow. Go down hourly. Let's see what we got. It's fine. Actually, I guess I'll pull it back. Go there. Pull this for tomorrow's inventory reports. Also, remember, guys, I will not be around tomorrow. I'll be in OC. I have 2 games tomorrow morning. So tomorrow is my summer league. I guess it's not my league because we're not playing in our league, but it's my league game. Um, I have day 1 of the tournament tomorrow, so I will be in Berlin, Maryland. It's an Ocean City tournament, but we're in Berlin for 2 days. But I will be back on Friday. I'm skipping my Friday game to make sure that I can do chart school. But tomorrow we have 2 games, so I was requested. They needed it, so I'll be down there tomorrow. Um, that's really it. Let me see. AMC, is anything in there? No, I mean, we really don't have much else in here right now. Um, Apple's just completely chopping sideways, particularly on the 1 hour. Let me see. Dixie is, yeah, it's pulling back. Let's see if it holds. VIX, yeah, VIX is down. Not surprising. NQ is trying to make an attempt again, going in the red. Russell is again driving down towards that 22 level. Um, YM, it's trying. Look, it's trying. It's like, oh, what are we doing? Um, ES has kind of put that top in there too. It's trying. Actually, you know what? Let me see. Maybe there is an ES position here. 10 points. Um, right there. Actually, it'd be a little bit less than I was a little bit off. Oh, I guess actually it's my other box that's off. 1 to 3. All right. All right, let's go back to oil. See if oil is holding enough there. Yeah, you're already up 1 to 1 on this one. Like I said, it's not the ideal. Typically, we like a 30-minute zone better. It ended up pulling up into a very, very tiny 5-minute zone, right? It's a very, very tiny 5-minute zone. And in reality, it's more of a 1-minute zone. So it's not the ideal setup today for the news breakout, guys. I would say, like I said, it's more set up for the short trade. It's already over. I mean, right now it's already at over a 1 to 1. Our 3 to 1 is sitting right there. We got 3 minutes before that one goes though. So, um, broadcast from the game. Actually, no, it's not the fact I wouldn't be playing at the time. I'd actually be driving in the car, right? So I feel like, I could do like a sideline cam, but I can't do driving cam. I would get busted in Maryland so fast. They're all over us about cell phone use, right? It's crazy. Yeah, a buddy of mine got pulled over the other day. He's like, I was drinking out of my coffee mug, and the guy's like, that's your cell phone. He's like, I don't even have a cell phone. He does. He just didn't have it on him for that morning. It was it was his like coffee mug thing. It was reflective. Mount a camera car. So yeah, right. I'd be like looking at it like, well, what about this? Now, unfortunately, it's the Eastern Shore. If I don't pay attention, you have deer jumping out all over the place. I'll run into something. And I'd be like, it's your fault. Ernest owes me a car. All right. While we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and do the drawing. So it looks like we have 10 people in. We have 12 tickets purchased. Debbie, we're still on for 5 o'clock today. I got your email yesterday. I already know what your problem is. I could tell just from the email. So very simple fix. But yeah, so 5 o'clock today for that. So let's go ahead and do this. I'll give you about 30 seconds more. That way we can watch the oil inventory report. See how it came in. Yesterday was silent. So silent should be good. We have Ernest and Neuro in with 2 each. All right, let's close it down. All right. The winner of today's drawing is, and remember, it is 50 Pip Chip Wednesday. It's not as cool as 50 Pip Friday. I think 50 Chip Friday is much better than, I don't know. I feel like we need to have something for that, you know. It's got to be some type of tagline, you know. You have your like, what is it, like Woman Crush Wednesday or Man Crush Monday or something like that. I feel like we need to come up with something each day, like, you know. But you know, I definitely think naming these things would be funny, right? Like, you know, 50 Chip Friday or Fib Friday or something like that. I think are both good. Should have a contest who can come up with the best name for that one. Anyway, winner of today's drawing is Neuro. Look at that. It's funny. I see that, and the first thing I think is Will's got to be like, how are these guys winning all the time? Like, when is my turn? Wait, is Will here today? Okay, Will's here. Will, that's the first thing. When I saw it was Nora, I was like, man, Nora wins again. And then I was like, man, Will must just be mad. Right? I do feel bad about that. And like I said, it's totally random. Not that I'm unhappy that Neuro won, right? Neuro is absolutely allowed to win, right? Neuro's a regular. He's here all the time. He's rallied up. He's in the top 10. Actually, Neuro, are you in the top five? Yeah, Neuro is in the top five, right? He's just a little bit ahead of Sean. So, um, oh, I got a news update on my phone. The Taliban is tearing through Afghanistan. Um, yeah, but that was the first thought. I was like, man, poor Will. Like everybody is winning except Will. Will, I think it's the most unluckiest award here. All right, let's go see what the oil report was. You're just figuring that out now. Wait, what does he say? Oh, Neuro's during the rigging gang. Ah, there is a secret club. Okay, let's see what it came in as. There you go, point 0.4. So again, lower than expected, kind of on par with what API said. API was originally forecast at -1, came in at 0.8, so just a little bit less. So it kind of matched, right? A little bit, but nothing too crazy. We probably got a spike and a retrace. Yeah, there we go. Look, but there you go. You're out. You're 1 to 3, and it popped right back up again. So, yeah. So again, Ty went up to the new strategy, right? Not ideal. It was only a B. We had to use a 1 o'clock window, but there was your entry. The basing was right at a zone where sellers had stepped in. And again, what did the news do? It drove you back down again into that 67.50 range. Any of the binaries that we look like needed to come down to, they needed to come down to here, right? By the end of that window, right? That's where they needed to come down to by the end of the window, or at least on a spike. They didn't make them on the spike. You know, it was quick, but I would say overall, you know, mentioned earlier that we could get back up into that range. I still think it has the ability to do it, but for right now, it's going to be a little bit more on the bearish side. But had you been in short, there you go. There was another one of your trades news wise. So happy to be in that club. All right. So with that said, guys, it is 10:30 or 10:32. I am out of here. I will catch you guys not tomorrow, but I'll catch you guys Friday. Debbie, I'll see you at 5 o'clock. I think Debbie, you already have the Zoom link. I think it's in the Calendly email originally. But if not, look on Discord. If I can't find the Zoom link, if it's not in there, just look in Discord and I'll shoot you a message on Discord and we'll get your problem fixed. All right. Oh, here we go. Look, now it's moving. I'm watching on the 1 minute. It's like, up, it's moving. And I think that binary was, what did I say, 12? It would need to touch this by 12 o'clock, which would be, it was a 10 to 12. Let's see. Oh, 12 is right there. So it would need to be right. Oh, actually, it's there. So we'll see if it touches. So, who got the chips? Neuro got him. Yeah, Neuro won. He put in the secret, And again, you can always ask the 8 ball guys. Here, look. I think it says 8 ball is Neuro rigging the contest. Forget about it. Yeah. So I don't know. So the magic 8 ball does not know. or it's just telling me to forget about the question, which means I believe that means Neuro has hacked Twitch. I think that's what the rigging is. He has managed to get in the stream elements and he has managed to yeah, he figured out how to tweak the system. So all right, I'm out of here. Again, I will try not. Todd's like, hey, don't get hurt tomorrow. I was like, no, Todd, the correct thing to say is don't get hurt bad tomorrow. I will absolutely be hurting. I'm positive without a doubt I will be hurting tomorrow. Um, yeah, I'm sure I will be hurting, but I will see. I told Todd I was like, even if I'm in traction, I'll be there on Friday. He's like, all right, all right, all right, sounds good. So with that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys later. You guys have a good one.